All right, another episode of Conversation After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to past episodes and make sure you tell everybody about the show. Let's get some of those followers up. So, Tay, let's start off with the icebreaker.
Okay, I'm gonna go with who's the biggest pervert?
That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, this is pretty tame. Are
Okay.
you a member of the Mile High Club? I believe we've talked about this.
Okay, let's do another one.
Okay. Have you ever had sex with your best friend's mother or father? Would you?
No, I would not. Um, See, I come from the old school where most of our mamas look like mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk about this with my boys, and like mamas and grandmamas now look good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And but when I was coming up, most mamas look like mamas. And, every now and again there was somebody who had like a young mama. One of my dudes, his mama, and her maiden name was Parker. So and like she looked like Miss Parker. I hope he don't watch this, but he know. Um, and she looked at us as her sons. Like, so we come over, she'd be like, "Hey boys," or whatever, right? But like, she'd be in the crib with like, like his t-shirt and some biking shorts on or whatever. And like me and my other dude, we'd be and he'd be like, "Hey man, stop looking at my mama, man." You know what I'm saying? And like she'd be in the crib, she wasn't even thinking about us. So like, I mean, one time she bent over like pick up some laundry, and like she just bent over at the waist. We was like, "Damn!" And he like jumped in front of her. He's like, "Mama, you gotta stop doing that." Once he called it out, she looked at
Mhm.
us like some little perverts, and we kind of like chilled out. But we was just like, "Hey, nah." But I don't think you deserve to get beat down if you mess with your boy's mom. Like you deserve to get beat up. Like the whole crew needs to jump on you if you mess with your boy's mom. Like for real, for real.
Who was that? The basketball player that
Delonte West and
yeah.
LeBron. Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. So did
Allegedly.
he start to get beat up?
Yeah, well, they weren't friends though. They're just teammates.
Okay.
So depending on like how much camaraderie was between, I mean, if somebody my age is messing with my mama,
Hmm.
it might be some static. And I
Okay.
guess it depends on like how old you are. Because like now at our age, see, I had old parents though. Like my mom was 38 when she had me. So there's no logical reason why if she was still alive, she would be dating somebody my age. That's just
Right.
38. That's too big of a gap. But I can see if your parents had you like in a teen, like they was like 17, 18, or even 20,
Hmm.
get to be this age, it's possible. Because we at that age where you could date the mama or the daughter. I
That's true.
can. You can date the father or the son.
That is true.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. You ever mess with one of your friends'
Mm,
daddy?
I never thought of it. I have a friend whose father was very flirtatious. But
That's not
no,
good.
no. He was that's the type of man he was. And it wasn't just with us, it was just with
What you
women.
mean a fucking creep? Like,
It was with women, period. I can't say it was us because of our age. It was just because I saw him around other women. He was just a ladies' man. He was like that with women. But I'm looking at him like I look at you like an uncle or like, something like that. Like, so no, I would no. And nobody else. Well, I remember no, and I'm not saying I would, but I remember one of my close friends in high school, her father was extremely nice looking. But and this was back when light skinned men were in style. And he had the light eyes and everything. Ooh, yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was fine. But no, I still wouldn't have. I don't know. It's still something about that that just feels icky.
yeah. Nah, I'm still tripping off. You say he was flirting with y'all though. That's not cool, Tay. That's not.
I know, I know.
Did she know that her dad was flirting with y'all?
I mean, like I said, I don't think he meant it in like, "I'm really gonna get y'all." Well, I can't say that because I think if somebody woulda gave him some play, he probably would have. But I think that was just his nature with women. You know how some men just their conversation with women is just in a flirtatious way. I think that's how it came off.
How
So I
did
can't say it was
like
like
what? Give me an example of how he would flirt with y'all. And at what age did he start flirting with y'all? At what age were y'all when he started flirting with y'all?
well, we were like this was like after college, late, I mean, early 20s age
Okay.
type thing. Yeah, so we weren't kids.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I've known her, since I was young, but I didn't meet him until I was in my 20s. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like he knew me as a child. So I can't say it was that.
So he didn't know you
And
as a
like I
child.
said, I don't think it didn't come off as he was actually flirting, particularly with me. It really was, how some people, because it's women who do this too, their conversation is just flirtatious. They just have that flirtatious personality. And he was a ladies' man. I'm telling you, I would see him with around just around women. And that was just he was playful with women. He just had that personality.
I almost said your government name. Uh, let me tell you something. It's funny how sometimes women make excuse, and I'm not saying he's a creep because obviously, if he was a creep, you would have picked up on
Yeah.
it. But I think there are times when you all, meaning women, excuse some behaviors. Um, you know me, and you
Mhm.
know there's not a bigger flirt shit talker than me. Obviously, people see me on the show, right? Guess what I don't do with my 27 and 25 and 23-year-old daughter's friends? I'm definitely not flirting or anything with them. Like dad mode is on with them and their friends at all times. So yeah, you could definitely turn it off. You know what I'm saying? I can't excuse that. I know it's a people, but that's a little
I get it. I get it.
that's a little because you gotta turn it off. Like you turn it off at work. I mean, at least I hope you turn it off at work because so that's a good way to get that
He
sexual
worked.
harassment charge.
Mhm. I won't say too much. I'll just say where he worked in our area, the men and women are known for,
He got
so
one of them jobs where everybody sleeps with everybody.
I don't know if it's within the job, but around DMV area, the people who work for that company are known. So
The people who work for that company are known to be hoes or what?
yeah. And I'm not saying he was, but I'm just saying.
you,
If I say too much,
you can't
you
divulge
got
that the people know you talk
if
about.
I say the company, people gonna know who I'm talking about. People who know me are gonna know who I'm talking about. So I'm not saying anything else.
But the men and women that work at this job are known to be hoes.
Well, I know I've heard the reputation about the men since I was a kid. So I'm sure the women are that way too.
What was they plumbers or some shit come to lay the
But
pipe or what? I don't know. There's some jobs where like I don't want to get you in trouble because your friends might be watching the show. There's some jobs where everybody's fucking
mhm,
call centers. I know a lot of people say the military.
mhm.
I can't think of let's see, call center, military. I would say sales jobs.
Okay.
That happens. There's a potential for it because and I've never done it. And I'm open book because I'm in sales. But you're traveling and y'all going to conferences or whatever. So the potential is there, right?
Mhm.
But I just when I was younger, I used to play those games, but I had a situation where, you know, I was, being flirtatious like your friend's daddy, and I was flirtatious with the wrong woman, you know, because most everybody else just laugh about it. I say my little shit in the break room or whatever, and I
Mhm.
said to the wrong woman. The next thing you know, I'm sitting at my desk. They're like, "Hey, can you come to conference room number 3?" and the whole time I'm walking, I'm looking back to see if they're gonna come clean my desk off. You know, like when they fire you, they clean
Yeah.
your shit up when you leave. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, anybody at my desk? And thankfully I was about to transfer away from that job,
Mhm.
and like the big boss knew that, so he was just like, hey, like you need to keep your mouth shut for the rest of the time you here, and like shut it. So it happens. You ever been sexually harassed at work?
Uh, no, not that. Which is, I'm thinking now that I've always been in predominantly male workplaces.
Oh, so you've
You know,
definitely been. You definitely.
no, actually, no. I mean, I was in a situation with somebody who worked with me. So, but I mean, but we were in the situation together, so I never would
And,
have.
and everybody knew it.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
It was yeah. Nobody. Knew. So I mean, if so we did kind of have our ways of flirting with each other at work, without people knowing, but if somebody else would have caught on, I'm sure they probably would have accused him of being sexually harassing me. But it wasn't for me, it wasn't that type of thing because it was a mutual situation.
So you never had anybody like try to come massage your shoulders, or you know.
Actually, no. Like I said, and that's crazy because all my most of my jobs have been, male, predominantly male. So now that I'm thinking about it, that hasn't happened.
Oh, okay. Does it matter? I saw this meme where it says like the guy's handsome is flirting, but if he's not attractive, it's sexual harassment. Does that play a part in it, in your opinion?
Oh, I'm sure that that's the case for most people. Because if you're sexually attracted to somebody or interested, advances are just that. But if you don't like them and they're still playing those flirtatious games, I could see how somebody could get caught up in sexual harassment, you know, charges.
Janine says sounds like here in the East St. Louis Police Department, hitting on all the ladies. Okay, the police doing that. All right. Danielle said, I was sexually harassed as a teenager and while in college, shaking my head, movie and restaurant businesses. That's not cool because sometimes, I mean, we're kind of laughing about it, talking about it, but there are times where it can really be a bad situation for women. And I've seen certain guys who be, like straight up creeps. Like, you'll see them talking to the women, like massaging their shoulders. That's like a real creep move. Like you're a manager, then you go over to, a desk and you massaging the shoulders, you putting your hand on her or whatever. Like that's creep move. But I think sexual harassment happens, but what I think happens the most, and we saw it, right? We saw it in the news last week with Fannie Willis down in Atlanta. What happens is people start commingling and the power dynamic isn't even.
Right.
So, you know, she may be a manager and I may not report directly for her, but I'm in another department, but still the power dynamic isn't there, and somebody finds out, we may keep it tight, but
Hmm.
somebody else finds out and then it gets out, and and don't let, and normally both people probably usually they have like their own, like they married or something like that, and
Hmm.
adultery in corporate America is like the death blow. Like
Yeah.
if you get caught committing adultery in corporate America, they're just like, nah, we can't, because I was like, well, if you cheat on your wife, then you're gonna cheat on the business.
Yeah.
So, and I assume the same for women. But that's normally what I've seen. And most of the time, it's shocking that Fannie Willis got caught up like that. Well, not shocking, but it's shocking because she's so sharp and because she's so on point about everything else. But most of the
Right.
time, it's dudes that's
Yeah.
I'm director of this department, but I'm banging out the call center chick, or I'm banging out the intern that's working in marketing or whatever. So that's how it typically goes down from what I've seen.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it in both situations. I have to say that the situation I was in, the guy was the assistant director. So he was in a supervisory position over me. But I remember when I was in high school, college, my first job was in a department store. This manager for another department, him and another woman who worked there had their little situation.
Mm.
They got, and I think I don't think he was married, but I think he had like a main girlfriend that everybody knew about. But
Hmm.
him and the girl got into an argument, and she did report him for sexual harassment, even though
Even though it was consensual.
even though it was consensual. And so from then, yeah, from then on, I tell every guy, no, don't play with that, and I use that as my example.
You don't get your meat where you eat.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Some people say you don't shit in your backyard. Because here's the thing. It's a bad analogy, but it's because of the power dynamic, you'll never win.
right.
And so it's sort of like the analogy I was going to make was if you're messing with, if a grown man's messing with an underage, child, they may be 17, 16, and he's 30. We should see that all the time, right? Growing up
Hmm.
in high school. And it was like, well, I didn't force her to do anything. She wanted to be with me, but a minor cannot consent.
Right.
And when you look at the power dynamic at work, there's no way that you can get around it. It's like, hey, no matter what, you still had authority over her or him, so you out of here.
Hmm.
And it happens
Yeah.
all the time. Motherfuckers lose their jobs all the time over that. All the time. All the
True.
time. So you was hitting the director thing?
He was the assistant director. He wasn't my
Oh, he was
director.
the assistant director. Let's see. Stephanie said, I worked in a college athletic department, and the male coaches definitely flirted with those of us who worked in the office. Okay. All right. Caroline says it sure is. Shout out to Caroline. That's my cousin. You know, I always cringe when she's a part of CVAD. Let me ask you this. Am I overreacting? Because Caroline and I grew up like brother. You got your cousin, you grew up like brother and sister. And I tell my business all the time. But the minute she tell one thing of hers, I'm like, what the fuck you talking about?
It's a double standard. For
Huh?
sure. I say it's a double standard for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is. And I'm gonna stand on it. Are your male cousins the same way?
I don't really talk to any of them about it. I have a few that everybody, well, most people know I have the podcast, and I have a few that keep saying they're gonna tune in, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if you want to, it doesn't bother me, but it may make them feel a little uncomfortable. So
Yeah. Why? So let's get off that because that's a little tangent. But why do
yeah.
you think people would risk? Why do you think people continually risk like their livelihood over some ass?
I don't know. It's like people can't control it, men and women. I don't know why, but it's the temptation. Maybe it's the thrill of we not supposed to be doing this. I think that's what gets a lot of people. And then a lot of times, they say you're at work long, more than you are with your spouse because you're at work from what, 9 to 5, 8 to,
Right.
so you spend more time with the people at work, you have access to them.
Or maybe the person at home ain't giving it to you like you want it. Maybe stuff stale and Sheila in the office. Sheila in the office is down for whatever. That might be it. That might be
Yeah.
it. Let me see what they say in the comments. So Sean said, senior vice president at my old gig was boffing multiple women. I ain't never heard boffing. Boffing multiple women in his department and basically telling them all the same thing. You're the only one. I'm going to promote you, etc. When one found out about the other, she went straight to HR and oh boy was shown the door immediately, if not sooner. But see, that's dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's shit you do. That's what Marvin used to do at 24 or 25. Tell you, when I worked in the call center, I had two chicks worked on the same row. One worked days, one worked evening. And I got caught. I got caught because one had a sister that worked there. And the sister was kind of like yeah, you cheating on my sister. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So she went to the other girl in the break room and was like, girl, what you doing this weekend? She said, oh, I'm going out with Marvin and his friends. And what that was it. The gig was up. Caroline said it's the thrill of it. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. All right. So, we're talking
So
about go ahead.
I was gonna say, so let me ask you this. Speaking of Fonnie, do you think that um the way sexual harassment is dealt with in the office place is different for men versus for women?
In terms of if the woman has the higher level position,
The higher level position and just with women just sexually harassing men that they may work with.
I haven't really seen many examples to really talk about it intelligently.
Okay.
I think the few examples that I have seen, or I've heard about, I don't think it's taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't think when men complain about being sexually harassed, people take it seriously. There was that guy, I can't remember his name, but he went live on Instagram and he was talking about how he was being sexually harassed, and he said it was the big powerful person in Hollywood, and people were all trying to say, "Oh, he's talking about Tyler Perry. He's talking about whatever." And I don't think he ever said the name,
He
but I
did.
saw I don't think he ever did. But I saw a lot of people just like, "Well, dude, why didn't you say anything?" I saw way more people questioning his allegations than they do with women.
Mm-hmm.
So I think so. And I've been in a situation where I had a manager, and it was obvious that she was sweet on me. Like it was obvious. And but she never came out like with like flirtatious advances, but she was just always messing with me, making stuff hard for me, and like, kind of like, uh-huh, I saved you the other day, right? And just, just it was just borderline, that like it seemed like she had sexual tension, but I was just like, I just need you to leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boys was like, you know what needs to happen, right? You need to break her off, and then she's gonna back up off of you. But I wasn't attracted to her, and I just didn't want to go there.
That may make it worse, actually. See,
When,
because y'all people who like to give y'all A game on the first night, that would have made it worse.
and I do, Tay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the role. I don't want no comments. I want the role at the first time. Let's see what other thing I have to say in the comments. Janine said, "My male cousins in the group, birds and the bees are the same for everyone grown." I guess so. I don't know. Yeah. Janine said that make it worse. So back to, we're talking about maybe people cheating at work because the spouse at home is not giving it to them. Let me ask you this.
Hmm.
How long would you stay in a relationship if now, what you said, Tay, you said like, hey, if guy ain't bringing it, he don't get no second call, right? But if
Right.
it's in a relationship, and sometimes things change in a relationship. Sometimes you gain weight. Sometimes, health comes into play and you can't do it like you used to. How long are you going to stay in a relationship if the sex isn't hit?
um, I'm not sure if the relationship is just starting at this age. I don't have the patience to wait. I'm sorry, I just don't. But if I've been in a relationship for a while and the sex isn't the best because just time and whatever, I'm willing to stay. I don't know how long. It depends. And he needs to be willing to like maybe you know, talk about what's going on, maybe get some help if it's needed, maybe bring in toys. I was gonna say extra things, but I want to say toys just for people think I'm talking about other people. Bring in toys, just to fill that need. We have to be able to do something, to try something. If it's just is. bad and neither one of us is willing to try, I don't know how long I could stay.
What if you asked them like, "What's up, man? Like, you ain't doing it like you used to. Feel like damn, the frequency has decreased, and like, what's the deal?" And he says, "It's you." Like,
I'd ask more questions like, what's up? That's all
would
communication.
that hurt your feelings? Would you bounce, or would you try to work on it and address what he asked you to address?
Oh, it would definitely hurt my feelings, but I mean, let's communicate, talk. Why? What's going on? I mean, if he's not willing, again, if he's not willing to work on it with me, whatever is going on, then what's the point of us being together?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a sensitive ass Pisces, and if you tell me some shit like that, I don't want to fuck you no more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always gonna be in the back of my head. It's always gonna be in the back of my head what you said. It's
Mm,
always gonna be there, and I know that's not cool. Um, that doesn't present a safe space for open communication.
mhm,
Um, so I say this: your delivery better be very on point. Don't put me on the defensive. Find a way for it to be like, hey, listen, I just want to be constructive with this. How can we fix the problem? I'm still feeling you.
mhm.
I still love you, whatever, but I need something to be addressed. But if you just come out and be like, hey, you need to work on that gut because you can't do this, that, and the other. Nah, that ain't gonna hit.
Yeah, well, it definitely depends on how it's brought up and and the words that are said and how they're said. Tone is big with everything, and it can take you from 0 to 100 quick.
Danielle said, got to communicate through these things. I'd be hurt though. Yeah, I don't think it's a easy discussion. You ever had that conversation, Tay?
Not about me.
You always try to act like you just like you ain't like you just the creme de la creme. You ain't never had a bad showing.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying nobody's ever come to me and said, "You're the problem." Nobody's ever said it. I mean, is that my fault?
Have you ever told somebody that they were the problem? Like, hey, listen, we
I
need to
have,
adjust
I
something.
have, I have. Not necessarily. I wouldn't put it in those words of the problem, but like you said, it's the way you say it. Just let them know, hey, I like. I heard somebody say the sandwich method. Where you say something good, something positive, give them a compliment, say what's wrong,
Yeah.
and end it with the
Uh-huh.
compliment or with you still want everything to work, that type of thing.
Mm.
But I have let people know, yes, I don't like this. Can we change it?
Did they? How was it received?
Different
You
people
know,
have
people always talk about the male ego is fragile,
it is.
and I guess I just proved that shit because I said I wouldn't want to do it no more. But how did it work for you?
Um, for the most part, I think when I've told people that, for the most part, they've tried to work. But then there have been those guys who think that they know what they're doing. They don't need to change for you, even though that was what the other woman liked. That's not what I like. They don't care. They think they're the man. I haven't dealt with that in my later years, but definitely in my 20s, I used to hear that a lot. I know what I'm doing. I don't need you to tell me what, but you don't know me though. you
Yeah.
know. So,
Well, I
but
think
then in those situations, I'm not willing to work. If that's your attitude, I'm not willing to work with you. I'm gone. But if we can have a civilized conversation and you can hear my constructive criticism and I can hear yours, then we can work some things out.
that highlights the fact that you said it in the past before. You said we don't come into this world knowing how to have sex, right?
Mhm.
And I definitely think that in order to be good at sex, you need to like study, watch, you know, see different things, try different things, experiment. Um, I believe as younger men, we don't know. So you just think, you watch porn, you hear the older fellas talk, so you think like, damn, all I gotta do is just beat it up. I beat it up, you know what I'm saying? I'm killing the pussy, just whatever. And some women may like that, but a lot, they're not feeling that jackrabbit, jackhammer action. At
Mhm.
least not all the time. But as you get older, and hopefully you get exposed to more things. You realize, okay, well, I don't have to do all that. I could do this, and I could get, a wonderful result by just doing this. I ain't got to do the jackhammer or the jackrabbit, or I can pound her out if she wants to go to Pound Town, but that can't be the only thing that I do. I have to, switch it up. Um, and that comes with age. And I hope that at our age, mid 40s, that guys are learning how to, touch different parts of a woman's body, but most
Mm.
importantly, learning how to read her body. Like, it's a good thing if she says, "Hey, do it like this. Touch me right here. Touch me in this way." But if you can read her body, like if she's responding, like, it's like, oh shit, I can tell she likes that right there. That makes it for a much better situation for everybody. And that's why women, I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all shouldn't fake. Because if you faking shit, you never learn. And then down the road you be like, well, damn, your sex just all right. You're like, what the fuck you mean all right? You in here screaming and hollering every time we doing it, and now you talking about this all right? How's he supposed to know what you want?
I agree. I say that all the time. I don't believe in faking, and I don't think women should.
I mean, you got to give me a courtesy moment at least.
No.
A courtesy moment, Tay. You got to give me a courtesy moment.
A courtesy mode?
Don't just sit there and stare at me while I'm trying to hit it.
I'm not saying just stare at you, but
You got to give me a courtesy moment. Let's see what they got to say. Tarsha said, "What's up, Tarsha?" She said, "I had the conversation. It doesn't matter the delivery. Just put more pressure on the guy." It's a hard conversation to have. It definitely is. Janine said, "I agree. Delivery is everything. I had to have the heart medicine conversation, and it was a bit difficult." That's another thing, though, that I think men and women need to give each other more grace. As we get older, health can directly impact sex. Now, the easy target is sort of like, I've been the fat dude all my life. It's like the easy target is for everybody to decline the fat dude, right? The easy target nowadays for women to just decline the dudes who dick don't work. But they don't want to talk about how y'all got them trick knees and y'all can't ride for shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Or how menopause is hitting and y'all don't get as wet as you used to. When we start having those type of conversations and jokes, then everybody gets all sensitive. Like, oh, do you hate black women and all that old type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we all need to give each other a little bit more grace when it comes to how our health impacts what we do.
true. But dryness is an
You,
easy
you,
fix.
you see how Tay said it at the side of her mouth. She didn't want to agree to that one. She was like,
I,
oh.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Everybody, we all need to work on our health as we age. But
Absolutely.
again, dryness is an easier fix.
What about that trick knee?
You
Well,
can,
hey,
there are things
say,
you can do.
say, we don't want you scooting on the deck. We want your feet
Oh,
flat bouncing on it.
well, I mean, again, as you age, you have to adjust for different things. There are ways you can be on top, and you can adjust your body to make it more comfortable. There's a sex therapist I follow, Goody Howard. She has this one knee up, one knee down method that she swears works for anybody, any size, any health ailments, knee problems, hip problems. I mean, there are things you can do. The thing is, you have to be
Well, she
open.
she need to
Both
spread the word.
both people have to be open to try different things, explore different things, learn and grow with each other.
Okay. You see how you explain the way the shit when it comes to women, you know what I'm saying? But it's tough on us fellas. See,
It is.
Stephanie said the trick is finding a connection where you both feel comfortable experimenting and risking those awkward moments when something you try doesn't quite work out.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. Danielle definitely agree. No fake moans. I need a courtesy moan. Janine said, "Do not fake. Do not fake moan." Danielle said, "Grace, yes, but folks out here lying on their peen. Don't say you got to beat that coochie. Don't say you're going to beat that coochie purse up and can't get it up."
Yeah, that's where the problem comes in. Selling wolf tickets.
She said, Michelle said, "But if it ain't standing up, ain't nothing to bounce on." Yeah. Quick to talk about the ED. You know what I'm saying? I see how y'all do. I see how y'all do, man. It's tough out here. I don't know. I think that if the sex was bad, if I was married, I'd probably power through it. Um, you know, might I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. But if it's just like a relationship or whatever, I think that at this age, I would try to have the conversation. I think a lot of times for us men, it's difficult to do that because, yes, the male ego is fragile, but we don't want to run around hurting y'all's feelings either, though.
Right.
And sometimes that's just
Women
not
are
the.
sensitive too.
Go ahead. What you say?
I said women are sensitive too.
Damn right. You see how I just talk about y'all trick knees and dry coochie, and you see how y'all responded. Y'all jumped on that shit. It's all jumps when it's the dude's peen not working. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, well, I could do this and all that. Yeah, we know y'all sensitive. We know it. Yeah, we know it. Shit. But yeah, I think if she was receptive, then I would say. But I'm also at an age, and I mean this: sex isn't everything, and if the sex is average, but she makes me feel good as a person, I'm cool with that. If she makes me feel good as a person, I could talk to her, I could be vulnerable with her. We can hang out. She don't get on my nerves. If she's intelligent, she can give me wise counsel. I respect her opinion on everything because honestly, that compatibility as we get older, that's hard to find, Tay.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that. I've been in this dating game the last 2.5 years. That compatibility piece, I can't talk. Compatibility piece, it's major because there's a bunch of people out here, and again, we go back to attachment, right? And
Hmm.
lining up attachment styles. A lot of people, I can see just off the jump. Yeah, nah, we ain't gonna be compatible. You know.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can be like, I don't think long term we could be compatible, but you cool enough for me to hang with you every now and again. You ain't ever had that situation?
Oh, of course, definitely.
Yeah, you can say like, yeah, I don't think long term we're compatible, but we can hang, but we just know that the likelihood of us going further, all the way to the altar, that's probably not gonna happen. And it's a good thing because it probably, are we hanging out, so let's take the next step. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's see what they got to say in the chat. Janine said, Amen, Tay. That legs over the shoulder while riding him help me. Yes, sir. Legs over the shoulder while riding him. Trying to envision that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean he gotta like if your legs over your shoulder while you riding, that means he's like lifting you up more. Is that how that works, Tay?
I had to see the example. I'm not sure
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
we need to send us a breakdown
I'm
of
short, so my legs are short. So I mean,
leg be on his pack. TJ said, I'm on the late show, but hey, TJ. Tarsus said, y'all keeping me from packing for Dallas. ED is happening more in our age group and younger men. And I think me and my boy was talking about that. And, we in our mid 40s. Thank God I'm not on that train. Right.
Mhm.
But, shout out to our homegirl from Mississippi that was on the show. She said every man had that short out moment, right?
Right.
These young dudes on like these honey packs and taking these black rhinos, and I'm like, dude, you in your late 20s, early 30s. I mean, yeah, there could be some health issues, but your late 20s, you should be pounding out.
I agree.
And y'all on this ED medicine, like, is it the food? Is it the drugs? What is it?
I want to say it's the food. Our food in America is trash.
Trash.
The majority of it is processed, and we all have heard that other countries don't even allow
Yeah,
our food because of
yeah,
how processed it is.
Yeah. I think it's food, but I also think it's like a lot more young people are vaping. A lot more
Mhm.
young people are, marijuana is a big piece of it, and that shit does affect your blood flow.
Right.
It does. It absolutely does. Because I don't, as a young man, I never had a situation where like couldn't get it up or it went soft, before we could really do anything. You
Mhm.
had those situations every now and again if you eat clean, right? But some dudes have it all the time, right? Because of health reasons. But as a young dude, I mean, the only thing I had to worry about was busting quick because you know what I'm saying? I'm full of testosterone, you know what I mean? But I don't
Right.
know what's going on with these dudes. But let's see what they have to say. Stephanie says, and I'm sure non-monogamy makes tolerating mediocre sex with your partner easier. Me and Tay will leave that alone. Yeah, it does. But Tarshan says, I think it's the drugs. I do too. I think it's the drugs. And Danielle agrees. TJ said alcohol is a depressant, sad pain will happen.
Mhm.
See, I don't know. Back when I used to drink, there was certain we talked about it on the show back in the day. There's certain forms of alcohol that would listen, I'm fucking all night. Gin, that Seagram's gin. Give me
Mhm.
if I get drunk out Seagram's gin, listen, you can rub about four, 5 women in. I'm wearing them all. You know what I'm saying? So I never I can see, I think, I don't know. For women, does alcohol make y'all worse in bed or whatever, or does it affect y'all that way?
I mean, I usually hear women say alcohol makes them hornier. I don't know if it makes I don't know from the other end how it, how it feels because I'm
The
not on that
fine
side.
line though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine line.
Which and that's what I'm thinking when I say I don't know because I've heard a lot, I've heard men complain about women who drink too much and then they get sloppy drunk and then the sex is just horrible. So,
Sloppy drunk, the sex is horrible. And that's tolerable if you're in a relationship.
mhm,
You're in a relationship or married or what have you, you could just be like, man, go to sleep.
yeah.
But I've had some situations where a woman was, inebriated and it was all consensual, but thankfully I didn't feel comfortable because yeah, you could still operate. Yeah, we've been talking about it, for weeks or what have you. But when you are that close to being, to the like you still there, but you're not there,
Mhm.
and there's a chance that we're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna ask me what happened. No, no, I can't do that. A woman who's tipsy, a little buzzed, that's fun. But when you start getting close to being drunk, I can't stand a drunk woman anyway. Like that's like one of my biggest fucking turnoffs. A woman who gets drunk. Like I
Right.
don't mind a woman who gets tipsy, but women who get drunk, that is so unattractive. And that might be you said double standard, male chauvinistic. I don't care. That's just super unattractive to me.
No,
Uh,
I it goes the same way. I've been around guys who can't hold their liquor and it's very unattractive.
Super unattractive. Danielle said I'm more relaxed with alcohol. TJ said weed was an aphrodisiac for me. Yeah, weed, weed, you can make a movie with some weed. But let me ask you this thing. Because we're going
Mhm.
along. You ever been grossed out by sex? Anything that happened in sex?
By myself. I mean, I should say I grossed out myself. I should say when I probably did my partners too, because this happened more than once. But okay, so I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. One of the yeah, it's a cyst is growing on my ovaries and it causes a lot of issues. One of the issues that it causes is my periods are not regular. So sometimes I don't know when they're coming. So, they could come in 2 weeks, they could come in 6 to 8. I don't have a regular 28-day cycle like most women. So there have been times when I didn't know she was coming and bam, we having sex and here it goes.
It's it went from we making love to a murder scene.
Exactly. Exactly. And I I don't like running red lights. I don't like it at all. But because of how my cycle is, I've kind of had to get used to it with somebody I was in a relationship with because I don't know when it's coming most of the time. I have a range, but that range can change. So I mean, those are the only times I've been grossed out. I heard something this weekend on the podcast.
Listen, a period only stops a sentence for me.
Right.
Listen, I definitely run red lights for sure.
I heard a story that was told on another podcast this week, last week, and the woman was saying, she kind of after some anal sex, some things came out, and she said that disgusted her, and, and she put the guy out. That's nothing like that has ever happened to me. Thank God.
Um, I've never been grossed out in sex. Had different things like, maybe her breath wasn't the freshest. Um, Grossed out, no. I think some things like maybe when she's giving me oral, she used too many teeth and it kind
Hmm.
of turned me off or what have you. Um, I talked about courtesy moans and moaning. Sometimes, some people could just sound like the sounds they make,
Hmm.
things they say could be a turn off. Like I had a chick and I swear she sounded like goddamn Snagglepuss, like heavens to Murgatroyd. She was just that's how she sounded. I was just like, girl, if you just don't shut up, like, oh my goodness, yeah. So that, but now I've never been grossed out per se. Maybe it's because I'm a nasty motherfucker, but yeah.
Could be. Now I did have something that would kind of I did it, but it freaked me out at the time. It didn't gross me out, but it made me like take a step back. And this was the last time I saw that dude.
Uh-huh.
He was into biting. So he asked me to bite him. And I was biting him
Uh-huh.
and he wanted me to bite him harder. So I did. And he kept saying harder. I bit him so hard I almost drew blood.
Oh,
And he loved it. Like you could see the marks in his chest for me by like my teeth marks. It was as if like a dentist making the
yeah,
mold in his
yeah,
teeth.
yeah, yeah.
That's how it looked on his chest. And he loved it. And I was freaked out.
Yeah, that type of pain, I was talking about it, pain is pleasure. That's not me. TJ said orgasms are cramps' best friend.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Yes.
Danielle said, I'm so scared to come on whole having sex. My peers are irregular now too. Okay. Stephanie said, I went on a date with a guy and I walked around New York City in open toe shoes with him for hours. We got back to his place and in the middle of sex, he started sucking my toes. I was so grossed out.
Yeah. I'm one who likes having my toes sucked, but I'm not kissing you if I know I've been walking around in dirt all day and my feet are filthy and you put them in your mouth.
Now I'm the type to, every now and again if you come home from the gym and you kind of, salty and sweaty to hit it, but like I appreciate, some clean coochie. So we've been hanging all day and go ahead and hop in the shower.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of, oh, that's,
Yeah, that's gross.
I thought I was nasty. Nah, he got me. Ugh. So all right, tell you what, I got a nasty or normal for you.
Okay.
It's called felching. Felching.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
So what happens is the guy is having sex with a woman, of course, and he ejaculates inside of her. She then proceeds to hop on his face and rub his face with her vagina while his semen leaks out and he takes it back in. Nasty or normal? Nasty
Oh,
or normal? And would you or would you not?
um,
And if you would you continue to date him afterwards?
I can't say that is normal, but I don't think it's nasty either. And if that's something he wanted, I would do it.
Would you kiss him afterwards?
I mean, yeah, but I had no problem swallowing my guy's nut anyway. So that's all it would be was his.
So if your dude told you he liked that type of shit, you would stay with him?
Yeah, yeah.
I got a thing, man, where I'm not trying to taste my own. I'm not trying to taste my own jizz. I can't do it. And that's why I'm like, I'm not big on like finishing in a woman's mouth. Like it feels good, but number one, there's two things why I don't have to have it at all. Number one, when you're ejaculating, it's super sensitive. And if she's giving you that hot mouth, it could be too much. It could be overstimulating to where the point where it becomes somewhat painful, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And then I also like to kiss. And once I bust off listen, call the Uber, it's time for you to go home, or I'm gonna go, we just gonna go to sleep. There's no round two. Or if there's a round two, we ain't tongue kissing. And I'm Mr. Toxic, so I like to be up in it and tongue kissing. I can't do it if you got semen in your mouth. I don't know. That's just me. I can't. Now, you can taste you off of me all, we could do that all, but if I bust, yeah. Because like, what's the stop? What's to stop you from tasting some other dude's jizz? You tasting your
Because
own?
it's another dude. There are so many women in this world who are not lesbians or bi who will take theirs off a guy who's been inside of her or kiss him after he's had oral. Doesn't mean she wants to go out and have sex with another woman and taste hers. There's the two don't even compare.
Double standards, and I can stand them.
Even if that's a double standard, my thing is your point doesn't doesn't match in terms of he's
you may
going
you
to
may
take
you may sense. Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm just gonna say I'm standing on that double standard. Let's see what they got to say before we roll out. TJ said, "Ew." I think she was talking about the toe sucking in New York. Sean said the first time I made her period start and saw the aftermath, I was grossed out. He made her period start. Okay, Sean, you doing it like that? I got
Well, he put it in quotation marks.
you. TJ said, "I love how I taste. Maybe guys do too." Okay, well, I like a woman that likes how she tastes. Uh, Danielle said that part. She likes how she tastes too. And Janine said, "We taste our own all the time. Y'all can't do the same." No, 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 not at all. Shit, no. You see how most guys eat? No.
Oh my gosh.
She tastes like a damn gas station taquito. Fuck no. I'll let y'all have all of that. But anyway, tell me they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to past episodes. Tell everybody about the show. Tell them to follow the show on our Instagram. Look at clips of the show and have a good time. We appreciate everybody that was in the chat, leaving the comments. Big shout out to y'all. We'll watch you next time. Peace.
Bye.